Hi Apple lovers, and welcome to another Apple Budget Buys episode. Today we are looking at the MacBook 12-inch 2015 edition. Is this device still usable in 2024? How much can you get it for? And is it actually worth it? Let's find out. Let's start by talking about the specification of this device. So it is the early 2015 edition. This was the first ever model they released, and this was discontinued in 2017. So it only lasted for a couple of years. It has an Intel Core M processor, 8 GB of RAM, and 512 gigabytes SSD storage for the hard drive. Operating system, it does run Big Sur. The following year that does support Monterey, and the last edition does support Ventura, but the one I've got is the 2015 edition, so I was on macOS Big Sur. So the unboxing was awesome. It was well packaged by the seller. The description was very accurate as well. A few dings and scratches on the body, so the top and the bottom. The screen wasn't too bad. Certainly nothing you could see whilst using it, but when not in use, you could see little faint marks. And again, I am reselling this device, so I'm completely honest with the condition of it. There's no reason not to be. So here it is, the original box, which is great. Inside, they still also had the outer layer as well, which is always good to see. Now, this device I was particularly excited about. Oh, the original mains cable and the pamphlet. Now, this device I was very excited about. I remember when it was released, not that I wanted one long term, but I just always wanted to see it. Now, look how lovely and small and sleek this is, even smaller than, and feels more sleek than the MacBook Air of the same era. It's wonderful. Look at it. Absolutely wonderful. You probably can't see those marks on the screen, but it's actually in tidy condition. It does have the butterfly keyboard, which has a bad rep. I know they can go wrong. However, the time I spent typing on it, I actually quite enjoyed it, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's a lovely little sleek device. So the setup was as expected. It had been factory reset, which I love for a seller to do. The unboxing experience should be from the general setup, not logged in with giving me a username and a password. Give it to me fresh out of the box. And it booted up quickly. Sign in was simple as always because it's Big Sur. The verification code worked as well. It didn't take long, and it certainly didn't seem slow at this point. So once everything booted up, I had an Explorer. I did the usual. I downloaded Cut the Rope First from Apple Arcade, which didn't take long to download, and actually I got very good megabits per second. I think 540 from the Wi-Fi test, so that was awesome. Once it did eventually install, it ran fine, but like similar Apple Budget Buy episodes of devices from the same era, the video playback part of the game was a bit laggy, but once it got going, the display looked awesome, the colors were great, and I played the game fine. I then, of course, downloaded Pages. Now, Big Sur will download a previous version of the software. You can't run the most up-to-date because it requires Big Sur or Ventura. This one just did it automatically. Downloaded fine, typed fine, butterfly keyboard, like I said, I have no issue with it, but they were known to go wrong during that era. iMovie test, it downloaded absolutely fine. It took a while to install, ran fine, and actually the time I got for the exporting of a 6-second clip was not bad. I mean, I think I tried this on a MacBook Air of the same edition in iMac, and they took forever. It might be because it's 8 gigs of RAM, but certainly I wouldn't say you could use this as a video editing device, but for very basic videos for iMovie, it clearly worked. Photos was fine as well. Again, the photos look gorgeous on the machine. Apple News worked absolutely fine. I mean, it's more of a web browser anyway. And Apple TV, that looked great on the machine. And yeah, no issues at all. So I love the look and feel of this device. It's as beautiful as, and I would say it is beautiful as I expected. Um, and yeah, it's kind of I compare it to the equivalent of going from an iPad to an iPad Mini. This is going from a MacBook Pro to almost a MacBook Pro Mini. And I'm not saying it is Pro, but that kind of sleekness. So I didn't encounter any issues at all with any software running it. So it pretty much will run any productivity thing you want to, and Apple Arcade as well. So uses in 2024 is very much that, but you know, productivity absolutely fine. So the Office suite, Microsoft Office, fine. Photo editing, absolutely fine in viewing your photos. Bit of Apple Arcade, nothing too intense. And again, just be patient when you do install everything. Takes a time to install, but once it does install, it's absolutely fine. Perfect as a web browser. In fact, the only software update I had to do was Safari. So that worked absolutely fine. Like I said, this is the ultimate portable laptop, even more so than I would say than the MacBook Air of the same age. Great on your lap in front of on the sofa in front of TV. If you do go to coffee shops or out and about and you like to take a device, I would say it's as portable and as good as using an iPad mini, not the 6th generation, but that kind of concept. Yeah, and it was as sleek and beautiful as I expected to be. So I'm really happy I got a chance to use this device and do a Apple Budget Buys episode on it. So who is this for? Like I said, the out and about person, potentially taking it to the library, maybe for some study. So again, I often say about students on this, actually for the price you can get this for. And they actually, I was surprised researching the price, they go for a bit higher than the 11-inch MacBook Air of the same era. I believe that's because it does have a certain reputation because let's face it, it looks great. It's got a bad rep because of the battery, the way they had to layer the battery. It didn't last very long. Now, I was very lucky with this one. It's got a brand new battery, and actually the cycle count was 1. So if you can get one with a brand new battery at a good price, looking at the store, I'm certainly selling this for about £250. If you're lucky and you do the auction thing like I do, you can get it probably about 20% less than that if you're patient. But to have a device, yes, the body's not in the best condition, but the screen is, the battery is. I was very fortunate for under £200 to find this device. So yes, for a student on a lack of money that just wants a Mac experience, wants it mobile, this is perfect. So thanks for checking out this episode of Apple Budget Buys. Hopefully you watched it because this is a device you're considering. Do you have one of these devices? Have you had one since it came out in 2015? I was thinking, should they do an equivalent today? I really think they should. And if you put an M1 in one of these and update the keyboard but keep kind of the feel of it, I think it would do well. But I understand after the reputation of the keyboard and the battery why they only lasted 2 years and they stopped doing it. So thank you for watching this video. Please like the video. Please subscribe to me. Your support means a lot. Please follow me on Instagram and Threads at TechHubWilts UK, and I will see you on the next episode.